All right. It looks like we're live. So let's get right into it. Actually, let me check just the audio levels. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. All right, we're good to go. All right, guys. So today is day zero of NaNoWriMo. Let's close that out. All right, one second. Just so my notifications don't pop up. Okay. All right. Now we're actually get into it. All right, guys. So it is day zero of NaNoWriMo. Today we're gonna just prep for the writing in the next month. This time we're gonna do a 90-page script. I have an idea noodling around my brain, and on Tuesday. Oh man, I'm getting back feet already. On Tuesday, I had an idea, and it was literally just a sentence. And then I just kind of went to a grocery store, a restaurant. Kind of just mapped out a general thought process of what I think would happen. But today we'll actually get the meat of it and see how it goes. So let me just turn down this mic so it's not blasting right now. And we'll hop right into it. So officially starting title page. I'll start with the title. I don't think that's considered officially writing it. Here, I don't know if it's going to be the actual working title or it's going to be the working title. I don't know if it's going to be the actual title. We will say not another Hallmark movie. Cool. All right. We will not dox myself. Okay. So not another Hallmark movie. That's the working title. I don't know if it's going to be the actual one, but I think that'd be cool. What is this movie going to be about? Well, that's great. Good question. Let's make a beat. So let's say general story. And then let's go log line. A log line is always necessary for a good script. It kind of gives you the thesis of the movie. And a good resource that I found for log lines is Studio Binder log line. It's a great little idea right here. So inciting incident, protagonist, action, antagonist, right? So here's some examples. I'm just gonna move it to the side real quick, and I'll start writing it out. The general idea, though, before I get into the log line, is I want to make a Hallmark movie with a lot of the tropes of a Hallmark movie, but subvert the expectations by making the main love interest a serial killer. Now, I don't know if this has been done before. It might not be original, but to me it's going to be original because I'm writing it, and I don't have any basis of that idea in existence right now. Now I know there are some holiday slasher films, but I hope to make it slightly different by replicating the Hallmark stereotype, and then that relationship dynamic as it progresses. That's the general idea. So let's get into this log line. After being sent by her editor to Christmas Town, Miranda Scott is tasked with finding out why Christmas is dying. On her journey of discovering. She is the man of her dreams. This might be short for sure. It might be describing it too much in a log line, since it's supposed to be like a sentence. But I'm just gonna roll out the general idea, and then we can make it a little bit easier in a second. On her journey of discovering, she meets the man of her dreams. But so in this town, and she must fight for that's not a great log line because it doesn't have the antagonist really mapped out here, and it doesn't have the action. Well, I guess it does have some action. She has to fight. But it doesn't really kind of show the full thing. Like in here, in this example, he must rescue his wife, or must seek help. And then the antagonist, a plantation owner, a killer, all that stuff, right? So let's see if we can make this a little bit better. Log line. After being sent by her editor to Christmas Town, after being sent to her buyer. After being sent to Christmas time. Determine is dying. Miranda Scott. Oh wait, hold up. Let's go cut that out. After being sent to Christmas Town by our editor, Miranda Scott. must determine why Christmas is dying. What is a good answer here? On her journey of discovery. Because I don't want the action to be why Christmas is This is a tough one. I'm kind of blanking here, but since there are no people on, we should be good. So let's move that back a little bit. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. Oh shit. Do we have a viewer right now? Let's go. Oh shit, we got two viewers. Oh my god. This is crazy. Okay. Well, shit. Here comes the A game, guys. We'll start working extra hard now. Oh, now we're down to one viewer. All right. After being sent to Christmas Town by our editor, Miranda Scott must determine why Christmas is dying. On her journey, she finds that sinister. Okay, she must fight for her life. Okay. I think that will do for now. So now we have the action. She has to fight for her life from being a serial killer. Action. She has to determine why Christmas is dying. Okay. I think that will be good for now. Let's call this. Not another Hallmark maybe. Getting some echoey double audio. I'll try to figure that out real quick. Sorry about that. Test 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. All right, hold on. Let me pull up the old YouTube. Yes. Testing 1 2 3. Well, that's gonna suck. Let me check my mics. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Did that work? If that did, let me know. If that didn't, also let me know. Hell yeah, we're back on it. All right. For the one viewer who's watching right now, let's go back over the story real quick. Let's go back over the story. So now you don't have to get the echoey sound. So basically, NaNoWriMo, National Write a Book Month in November. This is just day 1 planning or day 0 planning. The movie that I want to write is a Hallmark movie type movie, and I don't want to have it. I want to play on the tropes of a Hallmark movie, but I want to make it unique in the fact that the dynamic is also there's a serial killer in this movie. So it might not be the most original, but since I'm writing it, and I don't have any knowledge of a Hallmark movie that has a serial killer in it, I think we should be all right to write it. So that's the general idea. And now, here's the logline for the moment. After being sent to Christmastown by her editor, Miranda Scott must determine why Christmas is dying. On her journey, she finds that something sinister is going on in town, and she must fight for her life to avoid being a serial killer's next victim. So that should give us the general framework of what we're working with here. Let's get into it. Okay. So with any script, there's generally a formula you can use to figure out the story beats, and generally that's what I'm going to try to do today. Currently I am using Final Draft as my screenwriting software. Anything works, but this is just a nice professional writing software. It's also very expensive. So when I wrote my first screenplay, I said I had to actually write one before I'd buy one. So that's what I did. I said I I might have bought it, and then I had to write one within a month. My memory's not too good, but that's generally what was going on. So yeah, let's change that target script length to 90 pages. Now again, if you don't know anything about NaNoWriMo, it's write a book month. But I decided I would write a script instead. The challenge is 50,000 words. And at one point I did that. Well, I completed a story. I didn't finish the 50,000 words. But this year I wanted to write a script so that I can have 3 under my belt. Yeah, I'm just babbling. I'm sorry. Let's get into it. Story clock. Story clock. Alright. Now I'm looking for this template thing that I was talking about a little bit earlier. But of course my computer doesn't want to find that item right off the bat. It's called a story clock. And I swear I had one saved on my computer, but it is not. If you ever heard of the hero's journey, that's generally what it is. I had one that was somewhat detailed, but I guess I can't find it right off the bat. Let's go .af design. I swear, sometimes this computer is just not what I'm hoping for. I'm only gonna spend like, yeah, okay, so I can literally look it up in my files and I can find it faster than just it's you. Who's you, V? Vivian Weniston. Do I know a Vivian Weniston? Okay, here we go. Yeah, the file is literally called Story Clock. I don't know why this didn't. Okay, so for all the people who want to know what Story Clock is, this is generally how a script is laid out. Here we have the start of the story, start and end of the story, right? And you have Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, right? And then generally through these points, you have normalcy disrupted, the herald, rational approach and failure to a problem, acceptance of your journey, and then the departure of that journey. Then B story begins if you have a B story. This might not be the most up-to-date one that I was thinking about, but it gets you a general idea. Interesting. Well, that would get you generally the right direction. Let me see if I can pull up a more in-depth one. Nope, no I cannot. I guess I cannot pull up a better one, but that's alright. We'll just do a little bit of math real quick. So if we got a 90-page script and we divide that in half, that's 45 pages dedicated to the second half. Or sorry, not the second half. The second act. And then the first act and the third act are half of that. So if we do 45 divided by 2, we get 22.5. So what I'm going to do is on here, I'm just going to go 23. Make it nice and easy. We got a new structure point. And that structure point, we're just going to go like this. End of Act 1. Cool. Then at page 45, I'm going to say, and hitting the wrong things. Here, new structure point. Why is that not grabbing? End of Act 2A. Then at 45 plus 22.5 is what? 45 plus 22.5 equals 67.5. So 68. New structure point. End of Act 2B. And then the final structure point is just the end of the script. Okay, so now we should have 4 equal sections. I'm just going to move that to the side real quick. Generally, we have to have the start of the journey of the real story by page 23. Then usually, let me move that over to page 25. Usually at the midpoint, that's where like the real meat and potatoes starts, you know, like that's either where the switch up happens, that's where the stakes get even higher, and then 68 is when it starts to wind down, and by wind down I mean it really turns up, you know what I'm saying? So this is like the serial killer is coming in hot, you know. All hope is lost type moment, and then it kind of lasts for those couple pages, and then it ends, right? That's the general gist. The reason why I have Act 2A and 2B is you can kind of have a nice lulling story between the acts that kind of give it momentum going through the story. And so let's just kind of get right into it with how does a normal Hallmark movie start? And that is a great question. So any great Hallmark movie starts with a beginning. Okay, so in the beginning, right, we have Miranda Scott. Miranda Scott. Name can change in the future, but that was just the first name that came into my head when I was planning this out on Tuesday. So let's say she is a newspaper writer. Technical terms might not apply at this moment because I haven't done any research on anything. I'm just going based off of what I've seen in movies before. She's a newspaper writer. I guess she would be a contract writer. So she doesn't necessarily work for this newspaper, but she just is contracted to write stuff for it. I think that's a thing, you know, where a newspaper just pays someone to do something occasionally for them. But she wants to make it big, right? A newspaper writer, Contracted. Wow, this is gonna suck if I can't type. A contracted writer for a big newspaper. I don't know if we're gonna specify the newspaper yet. I would have to look into the ones that are prestigious. Maybe the Washington Post. I don't know. A contract writer for a big newspaper. Okay. Wants to hit it big with a dream of becoming a big time, big city editor, newspaper editor. I feel like that's the general gist of a lot of Hallmark movies, right? Wants to hit it big with a dream of becoming... Wow, I'm really redundant in my typing right now. But that's what happens when you have just a brain going live. Alright, writer for a big newspaper wants... Let's expand this out so we can kind of see what's going on. Okay, a contracted writer for a big newspaper has a dream of becoming a big-time, big city newspaper editor. But before she can, she is tasked some lowly, not impressive journalism. She putting in the work if she grinds okay, cool. We have the first little bit kind of written. If I don't talk, it's because I'm so focused on typing correctly that my brain's just locked in on one thing right now. But trust me, I'm very aware that someone is watching me, and I appreciate that. So, love you guys. I'm just going to throw some love in the chat right now. Okay, guys. So, she wants to make a big break. She wants to do like real journalism. But her editor, again, it's close to the holidays, right? So, she's going to go down there. It's close to the holidays. Her editor wants to do like that standard puff piece of, is Christmas dying, you know? And so he sends her to this like Midwest town that is falling on hard times to get some sort of newspaper article that really, you know, boosts the holiday spirit, you know. That's the general vibe. She's like, this is so dumb. I don't want to go. But I got to put in my time. I guess I will. So she goes down there, right? She goes down there. She gets her rental car. She's driving, but of course it's the Midwest, and it's wintertime, so a huge snowstorm happens. Thankfully, she gets to the edge of town right before something with the car, of course, goes wrong. She's like, oh no, this is not good. That's when a nice, handy, handsome hunk of a man steps out and says, you need help? And she's like, of course I need help. Thank you. And she's scribbling away. She's like, wow, this small town is so nice. I'm just saying this now. I gotta actually type it though. But I guess I'm so into the story that let's just keep going. So he takes her to town, right? And maybe they share a hot cocoa. and he explains that he is one of the families that does tree farms in this small town, but he kind of lets out some deeper feelings, and he's like, yeah, this town it's just shrinking, you know, and it's sad to see that with all the technology or something, I don't know, in the world, that it seems like people have just lost the Christmas spirit. And she's like, oh, wow, exactly what I've come here for, you know? So she's taking notes. She gets to her hotel eventually, or her motel, whatever it is. She spends the night. She starts typing up her thing. She's already like brainstorming ideas. And maybe another reason why she didn't want to come is she just got broken up by her boyfriend. So she's feeling upset. But this hunk of a man like instantly had kind of drawn her attraction. So the next day she's exploring the town. She wants to get a good sense of the city, and she, let's say, she so happens to run into this man, you know, at his tree farm. I don't know, must be a local one. I swear in the movies, again, I think I've only seen like bits and pieces of 4. I might have to do some research tomorrow or something when I start writing, but she bumps into him. They have a nice little meet cute moment. Maybe there's, I don't know, some sort of chemistry there. Of course, they share a moment. Maybe an old couple was like, wow, those 2 people are really cute together. And they're like, ah, yeah, classic Hallmark movie. What's the big deal, right? And that's where I don't know exactly how the middle part will go. We'll have to figure that out together. But what I think would be cool is she's kind of like writing her thing, and then somehow she gets information from a crazy person. I don't know. Something where... this is going to be so dumb. Okay, I guess let me back up like 3 minutes, you know. So she's at this tree farm. She's like, wow, these are beautiful trees. I'm surprised, you know, there's so many of them. I'm spitballing here live, so it's kind of weird. But basically, it's like, yeah, the fertilizer makes these bad boys grow strong, you know. Okay, now we fast forward back. So a crazy person's like, check the soil, you know. And she's confused. But maybe there's like a lull in the relationship, this new blossoming relationship. So she's just kind of like in the tree farm by herself at night, and she just starts digging at the soil, just because, you know, it's a weird idea. Maybe she thinks the guy like was kind of creepy, and so maybe she's getting second thoughts. She starts digging in the soil, and she finds a body, and she's like, what? She starts digging again. What? Okay, so now, let's say, instead of thinking rationally, she's like, this could be my big break. So, instead of getting out of Dodge, she's like, I'm writing about a serial killer. Now, she thinks she is playing the game here, right? But really, her time is ticking. And at the moment, that's what I got so far. So, if you're still in the chat, let me know, because I feel like I'm kind of intriguing right now. Not to toot my own horn, but I'm actually getting super invested in the story, so I might be here for a minute. Now I just have to type that out. So, oh yeah. Oh man, did my video just die? Alright, well, if the audio is still going, my camera just died, so I will change out the battery real quick, and hopefully we can get back online in a second. Alright, the camera is trying to figure out what's going on, I think. Hold on. Alright. I think it's working now. Maybe. Hey, alright, the camera's back up and rolling. Give me like 10 seconds to just start charging some batteries. Because, should be up and running again. Let me. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I didn't think it was going to be this difficult. Alright, hold on. Alright. Now if we lose connection again on video, we might have to go to straight audio for a minute, because none of my batteries are charged, and for some reason I can't charge the camera and stream at the same time that I know of. So I guess let's get right back into it. Okay. Before I continue though, okay. So I told you all that good information. Now I actually have to write it. So let's get right down to business here and actually start typing. Okay, gets a big break. Finally moves on green. Her editor wants her to head to a small town in the Midwest to write a puff. If I could spell piece right, puff piece. I before E except after C. Piece. Piece. A puff piece about why Christmas is dying. Miranda thinks it's dumb and begrudgingly. So this is that call to action that we're talking about. She's Alright. She goes begrudgingly. She flies in, gets her rent-a-car, and starts headed to the town. She gets into a blizzard and has car troubles just on the edge of the city limits. Spends some time solve her issue, but no luck. Alright, this might be kind of a long beginning, but we're gonna keep on stretching it down. Until a hunk of man pulls up in an old Ford. You need help? Alright, now I'm actually typing. I shouldn't be typing the story. Okay. But we can assume he asks, do you need help? Let's see. Until a hungover man pulls up in an old Ford. He helps, he attempts to help, but then offers her a ride into town. When they get there, they share a hot chocolate, talk about her job, and a brief history of the town. She thanks the man and goes to her hotel. Okay. Give me another second, real quick. I just gotta get my phone charger, because my phone is dead. Alright, guys. We're back. Okay. Okay. So when they get back there, she thanks the man, goes to her hotel. In her hotel, she begins typing up her story. including the man as her main character. Next morning, she finds that her car has been returned good as new. There's a note from the hunk that it's all fixed and that that she should come and visit him at his tree farm. So, she visits at his tree farm. Okay. There we go. So, that should get the general first act done. So, if we were to look at this chart, or I guess this story structure, right? So, I forget what herald means. I would have to look that up again. I think that's the thing that gets you to go. But generally, what's supposed to happen is you're living life, right? Something happens that you don't want to do. Then, for some reason, you decide you will do it. The rational approach and failure is like you don't want to do it, but you try to think of a reason not to. And then eventually the only way to do it is to do it how you were supposed to do it the first time, right? So like in this general story beat, we have normalcy disrupted. She has to go to the Midwest, to Christmas Town. The Herald, it might not fit exactly right now because, again, explaining this live is kind of difficult, but the Herald in this situation would probably be like a friend or something saying, you got to put the grind in. Eventually you'll hit it big, you know. So the standard failure stuff is like maybe she's thinking about past writers who have written lots of dumb stuff before they made it big, and she's like, well, if I don't write this, then I'll fail. Something like that, maybe. Then acceptance and departure. So she's headed down there. Actually, so she probably heads down to Christmas Town and gets to Christmas Town around page 23, right? So all this is set up. Then when she gets to Christmas Town, story 2 begins, right? Or B story. So in this script, what we can see and what you might see in a Hallmark movie is that's when the love interest idea pans out. So the general story, the big overarching story is she wants to make it big. Currently, she is just writing puff pieces. They're not getting her anywhere. Where she wants to be is big time editor, making the real tough stories. The B story in this, which I forget exactly how it starts or where it finishes. I did have a better detailed one, but how a normal B story ends, I think it ends generally right here, is like that's the romance. So like in this particular one, it will be she kind of likes this guy, you know? She likes this guy. And then in another thing that I forgot to mention this, Hey, we got Dan in the chat. I greatly appreciate it, Dan. Sorry, I got distracted by the chat. So a good rule of thumb is like there's symmetry in the story. That's why it's a circle. So like if the B story begins here, the end story ends here, right? And in this particular idea, if she finds out the guy is really attractive here, but finds out she's a serial killer here, maybe the symmetry of this story is like she really denounces the serial killer, or maybe she finds out the guy is a serial killer, but she like doesn't know 100%. Like she finds the bodies here, she's still trying to figure out what's going on. Then maybe this is like she finds out the guy is a serial killer, and she denounces that she doesn't want to actually be in love with this guy. Then of course, then it's like trying to survive, and then does she survive? And then ultimate breakthrough. Maybe she writes the story, she gets that big break she wants, and then maybe she doesn't become an editor right off the bat, but she's a more respected journalist. That's the general idea. So, now with that out of the way, let's start writing, or at least planning out the next little bit. Next little bit, guys. Here we go. Okay. So let's go. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Let's go middle, or not middle, but let's go Act 2A. And this might not be exactly how it's going to go. But we'll get the general gist, right? Okay. Nice. I'm glad you are chilling. I too am chilling. And by chilling, I am stressing right now. And by stressing, I'm not stressing too much. It's just writing something in 30 days always gets your blood pumping, you know. And it's always a good time, you know. It's a good time because like all year I'm like, I should write something. I should write something. I should write something. November's like, you're gonna do it, and yeah, I'm gonna do it. So there you go. All right, let's get back to the writing, right? That's why we're all here. Okay, so let's say I think we can get generally to this point in 23 pages, like get a ride into town. So I would call that the end of Act 1. Then the start of Act 2A is when they actually get into the town. They share that first moment. When they get there, let's delete that part. Cool. Let's get it all figured out. Okay, so Act 2A. She gets there. She's exploring the town. I always feel like there's a kid involved. I don't know exactly how we could involve. Ooh, I do know how we. Okay, so I always feel like it's like a single dad, you know, and then she's the big hot shot from the big city, and maybe she's like, wow, I could just see myself having a family. What if, now this would be really dark, but what if the kid he has is like just one of the victims' kids and he's like adopted the kid? That would be crazy, you know? I think that'd be interesting. Now I'm not saying that's going to be in the final script, but that's an idea, and that is, at least if we're trying to tell the story how I initially set it up in the beginning. One second. Basically, how I set it up in the beginning is like, if we can take the tropes of a Hallmark movie, but then spin them in a different way to make it original, that's good. So in this situation, it might not actually be what we want it to be, but that would play into what I'm trying to do. So it might be the case because I don't have any other plan right now. Like, legitimately, I had an idea of I wanted to make a Hallmark movie. Like, I think last month that was the idea. I was like, oh, it'd be cool to like write a Hallmark movie, just something super cheesy. And I didn't know if I wanted to make it like a comedy, or it was like what's the movie, like Not Another Rom-Com or something like that with Chris Evans. I thought that'd be cool, but I'm not super funny per se. Especially, I mean, it might take a lot, and doing it in 30 days. Again, this isn't supposed to be great, but if you can't make jokes in a comedy, then what are you doing? So I thought serial killer might be a different avenue where we could play with an idea, maybe have a couple comedic things, again, playing off the Hallmark vibes, but we can go into a more dramatic, like, she finds out that the guy's a serial killer, widescreen, very dramatic, David Fincher type movie, you know, something like that. So I think that would be a cool interessante type thing. So let's get right into it. V, do I actually know you? Because if I don't, that's cool. If I do, that's also cool. But I'm just glad people are in the chat right now. You guys are making my day. I definitely thought I was gonna be doing a lecture to myself, and I mean, it's totally fine if I do that. It kind of gives me to stay on track and actually just flush out ideas because I'm being recorded. But yeah, thank you, man, or woman. All right, so she goes to visit him at the tree farm. She meets him and his son, and we'll put that in quotation marks, because is it? She thinks he is real cute. Wow, I spelled that wrong. She thinks he is real cute. She just got out of a messy relationship and is still trying to find love again. And maybe the Christmas spirit. So, there's some sparks, and like I said, I swear there's always like an old couple that's just like, those people are cute. Maybe we might mention that, you know, old couple mistake. They are a cute couple. there's some embarrassment, but that's about it. Miranda comments on the trees and how big they are, slash how beautiful, beautiful they are. Hunk. I don't have a name for Hunk right now, so I'm just gonna say Hunk, you know. Hunk makes a offhand comment saying that the fertilizer is good. Okay. So, in the beginning of the movie, he just says that, and it's just a throwaway line. Then when however she gets the information about check the dirt, that's where we're like, the fertilizer was good. Why is the fertilizer good? What makes a fertilizer good? Human bodies. Okay. So, let's continue. Now, I think there's a lot more to be said here that I will have to figure out, probably the nitty-gritty while I'm writing it. The key to a good story is to have more than just the main story you're telling, you know? Or I guess it has to have some nuance to it, you know? Like, what's the theme that you want to get across here? And that can be explored through characters, through the actions of characters. If we are just, you know, following her and him, it could be a very short story. And since we're trying to make a full feature-length movie, there's got to be more depth to it. That depth I don't have at the moment, because again, this is literally off the top of the head. So, you might see me stumped for a little bit. Or, if I do this every single day, you might see that process come out. We'll see. We definitely will see. Okay. At the moment, though, let's zoom this out. Alrighty. So the fertilizer is good. Okay. And this is when the story arc comes in handy, right? So the tiny breakthrough right here, or the journey to the solution, this might be her trying to figure out how to write it. Maybe she's stumped. Maybe she's just such a lull. Maybe she's so heartbroken that she is just trying to figure out how. Maybe she started off great with this idea. She started off like in her hotel room. She's typing away, and she's just like, yeah, Christmas is all this, but maybe it sounds redundant, you know, and maybe she's like, okay, this isn't up to Miranda Scott standards. I need to make it actually good. If I'm gonna do this, I gotta do it great. And so then maybe she scraps the story, and that's when she starts talking to the guy. Maybe he's like, yeah, maybe talk to these folks, get some perspective there. And so she's going around the town learning all this stuff. Maybe she gets inspiration here about where she wants to take the general direction of the story, you know. and maybe in the background there's like some odd stuff that we don't necessarily address, but it's not like too bad to be really worried about it. The first third of this, we're like, okay, it's a standard movie, right? And then it's like all hell breaks loose here, where like things get serious. So I think that's why you use one of these. I think the story clock, well, at least when I initially designed this, it was based off of Seth Worley's story clock. But since then, the guy who made Community, something Parson, or Dan Harmon, he has a story circle. So this is what I started using, but the story circle is basically the same thing. And he honestly breaks it down a lot better than what I have written right here. And then also, what's it called? Shoot, what is it called? 1 second. There's like a classic screenwriting book. It's called Save the Cat. I was like, Save a cat? Save the Cat. It's a great read for anybody wanting to write a story. You can use it for a script. You can use it for an actual book or something like that. It might be entry level, but it is a solid read and is very helpful. And I just packed it away, so I won't be cracking that out. But if I were not doing this live, I would probably pull up the beat sheet. I think that's what it's called. And we could actually, yeah, shoot, why not? Beat sheet, Save the Cat. Yeah, this is honestly, wait. It is honestly even better than what I just said. So it breaks out literally the percentage of the story, right? So opening image, theme stated. I think it breaks it down if you were doing page counts in the book. But it like explains what should happen at what point in the story. Which again, some writers might say that's very formulaic, but I mean, if you're just trying to write a story, it's a great outline to get you in the general direction. So, look at that. B story, often a love interest or sidekick. There you go. Catalyst, set up the first 10%. Wow, problem over debate. Okay, yeah, so this breaks it down. There's not the herald or anything like that, but it's very helpful. So if you're just trying to write something, very good resource. But yeah, wow, we're an hour in, and we haven't gotten the whole story out. I basically told it to you, but I haven't written it yet. Who likes writing? Goodness gracious. Yeah. We'll get there, guys. We will get there. Okay, so I guess we'll speed run this part real quick. Let's just say Hunk tells Miranda to talk to the locals, and hopefully they can provide an answer. Is that just not... Did I not give a space there or what? Holiday cheer. Okay. Okay. Tells Miranda to talk to the locals and hopefully... She goes around, talks to some people, takes notes, and updates her boss. Maybe there's a strict deadline and he needs it done in a week. You know, having a deadline makes makes it have the story, makes the story have stakes, and so maybe he needs it stat in 3 days. He reminds her that he needs it in 3 days. She feels the pressure and gets stressed. Maybe later in the day, she is relaxing. Whoa, can I not type? What is going on here? Oh no, not the battery dying again. Alright, well, give me 1 second. Let me change out the battery one more time, and hopefully we can finish this stream with a good battery. So, 1 moment. Alright, we should be back online in a second. Well, hold on. I don't know what's going on right now. It looks like the battery is not working. Alright. This time, if the battery dies, I actually am sorry. Yeah, we'll get that taken care of. Thank you guys. I greatly appreciate that you like my voice so much. Well, hopefully my face pops up in a second once the stream catches up. Alrighty. So, later in the day, she realizes... Oh, wait. She is relaxing at a local bar. That's when hunk steps in. The two share a drink, and she asks where the kid is. He says with his aunt. What is going on with this typing? He needed a break. Okay, I think final draft is tripping, but maybe I'm just not typing correctly. It's like the cursor's in the middle, unless I'm on. I don't know what's going on here. Okay. Okay. He needed some space to himself to think. What if he just kind of like goes into his problems and just says like, yeah, I'm tired. I had a divorce with my wife, and maybe it's been hard for me to also find the Christmas spirit, right? Oh, what? A heart-opening moment. And she's like, wow, maybe I can incorporate this into my story, you know? He opens up about his divorce, or maybe not a divorce, maybe he spins the story like she died of cancer and he doesn't know if he can ever love again, you know, something really sappy like that. Yeah, let's change it. Is about the passing of his wife, maybe to cancer. Will he ever be able to love again? But more importantly, will he ever get the Christmas spirit back? Maybe she died on Christmas, you know, that would be a very cheesy type setup to really finding out that that he is actually a serial killer. Maybe he killed her, you know, that would be interesting. Okay, so he says she died on Christmas and it hasn't been the same since. Let's say they share a moment. Love possibly blossoms between the two, unspoken but felt. Let's say later that night, she has inspiration to tell the story of the hunk and his journey to find Christmas again. Okay, so there it is, right? So she's trying to find. She finds an angle that she thinks is a good idea, and she starts pursuing that path. And then, okay, so then it's like the next day, right? The next day, she again is out and about, talking to the locals, maybe getting into hijinks with some kids. Let's say sledding, snowball fight, I don't know. Let's see. What else? What else do you do? Making a snowman. Snowman. Okay, so she's finding the Christmas spirit, right? She begins to find the Christmas spirit for herself. Maybe the 3-day window is just too short because we still want to build up like this potential connection with this guy, you know? So maybe there's a couple days where she's still kind of in a rut. Maybe she's finding out more about this guy. She's still typing, still editing, you know. So we might need more than just 3 days. But let's say 1 week, right? So 7 days. Oh, and 7. Oh, is that what's going on? 7 days. Okay, there we go. Okay, we might have to skip over a couple parts, but time passes. Okay. Now she has gone on a date with the hunk. She starts feeling like she could put some roots down here. And move on from her. I don't know what is going on with this text. From her last relationship. Like, these are two broken people, but Christmas is gonna bring them together, right? Okay, I gotta write that down because that sounded great. Two broken people being brought together through the power of Christmas. Oh, what if that's what her story's about? She has a breakthrough. About for her story. That's her angle. Okay, cool. Now we got some good ideas flowing. Whew. Again, guys, this is all in real time. We are writing this as we speak. So, cool. So she's like, I finally got it, right? She starts typing furiously at a local cafe when an older lady and tells her the bad news. Okay. And then there might be a little bit extra to Act 2A, but we will save that for Act 2B, just so we can kind of have it all on the same page. Okay. So let's say she's at the cafe. Old lady sits down, tells her that the hunk is bad news. Tells her that the wife died under mysterious circumstances and that she should be on guard. The old lady doesn't trust him. Now, maybe she doesn't take this exactly at face value, right? But maybe there's something else, you know. I'm trying to think. If for sure, like, the kid was just a victim, or was the kid of a victim, would the town not know that? I don't know. Maybe the kid is labeled as like a cousin's kid, and that cousin died as well. Very mysterious. Very. Again, we're just spitballing ideas here. What if his explanation for the kid is like, yeah, I'm the godparent to my sister. My sister died. Very unfortunate life. My wife has died. Now I'm in care of this kid. The townsfolk can't really corroborate if this kid is that exact kid. And so they've just been kind of hanging out there, right? So, okay. I don't know exactly the full extent here, but let's just say something happens where she starts to question the hunk. Oh, also we gotta mention, check the dirt for answers. Something happens where she starts questioning the hunk. Maybe does. Now this would be super cliche, but what if she was like, maybe looks up missing children and sees a kid who went missing in the nearby county, and looks suspiciously like the hunk's kid. Now that would be something, right? That would be, oh shoot, my camera's about to die. I will, I'll try to switch out batteries real quick, and yeah, okay. We'll be right back, guys. Alright. We're gonna try something real quick. That did not work. Okay. Alright, we should be back online. I keep having to apologize for the camera. I will come up with a solution, hopefully soon. Alright. Let's get cracking. Okay, so maybe she finds something that looks suspiciously like the Hunks kid. Okay? Okay, so now she heads, she calls the hunk, but gets no answer. Suspicious, right? Suspicious. Again, what is with the spacing here? Suspicious. I don't know what's going on there, but I might have spelled suspicious wrong too. That's beside the point. What is the point is that we're getting a general idea across, right? She calls the hunk, but gets no answer. Suspicious. She heads to the tree farm at night and starts to dig in the ground. That's where she finds a body. She is freaked out. Now, again, maybe to add more stakes to this, maybe she does try to call someone like the police, but her phone's not working. I don't know. Maybe the snowstorm has caused a power outage or an internet outage or something like that. Cell tower went down. These are some things that we could add into the beginning of the script so then it can pay off. Again, it might be cliche, but maybe she could set those things up and hopefully have the setup, have the payoff later. It's an interesting idea. Who knows? We'll see how it all shakes out. Tries to call police. Phone not working. And I'll just put in parentheses blizzard. Cool. Okay. Phone not working, blizzard. She calms down and thinks of how she can get out of there. Since the town is snowed in and it's night, there might not be a way to escape. Okay, so the logical thing, right, would be like, all right, I have to find a police precinct, right? So she heads to the police. It's a small town. The station is closed. Maybe there's like a number on the door, like everybody knows Johnny the sheriff, so they would just call him directly. But since she doesn't know Johnny the sheriff, she can't, right? Maybe because, again, it is nighttime, a majority of the places are closed at a reasonable 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, or something like that, right? So, now we have to think about logistics. This is where logistics come into play a lot. Because, like, what are you going to do as a smart individual? You're stuck in a town. Maybe you don't have phone service. This isn't this. And then how do we get from a body, guy is suspicious, to maybe this is my story, maybe I can break it down. Like, maybe she had a friend who had hyped her up in the beginning, that told her, yeah, you should go down there, do your best. Is there a way to contact her or that friend, I don't know. And this might have to be figured out in a little bit. So, okay. So it is 9:30 p.m. Wow, we are burning the midnight oil. I'm just kidding. I'm not burning the midnight oil, but we are this is definitely going a lot longer than I expected. All in good fun, though. All in good fun. I'm having fun. Hopefully you guys are having fun. Okay. So she heads to the police. It's a small town. The station is closed. She runs around town trying to find anyone, but everything is closed. She calms down. Now, I feel like, again, a rational person, despite however much you want to write the award-winning story, you have to find a person. So I would assume a person would be at the motel, right? We don't want, like, the serial killer just to, kill the person she needs. Yet. I don't know, this is the actual thinking part. We're thinking now. We're thinking. All right. For now, let's just say she doesn't find anyone, right? She doesn't find anyone. Locks herself in her room. Thankfully, she didn't tell the man, the hunk, where she was staying. she thinks if she might not make it, she might as well write her story when first son. She will tell the police and get right out of there. Okay. I'm just gonna drag this over real quick. Just gonna continued. Ooh. Okay. I'm thinking. Okay. So, one thing that could probably keep her there is like she wants to keep the kid safe, right? That's the thing that's anchoring her to this town now. Again, she is for sure scared for her life, but then it clicks, well, shoot, what if this kid is hanging out with a serial killer? I have to save the kid now. Ooh. That could really change the dynamic, guys. If there's no one else around, that would be an issue, right? Maybe the snow's so deep, and everybody, because it's a rural town, like everybody's like 2 miles, 3 miles away from the downtown center. That like she would be like trudging in snow, just that. Okay, so then how does she get to the kid? That's the next question. If she can't get to a normal person's house, and these are things we'll have to think about, right? These are things we'll have to think about. Well, let's say, then she remembers the kid. She has to. I mean, okay, I'm reading the chat right now. That would be a surprise, and that would be a welcome surprise in the story. A Jamaican man on a sled with dogs picks her up. That's a brilliant idea. Okay. If we were to fuse that idea into the script, we would have to set the Jamaican man somewhere in the first act, so then him just appearing out of nowhere has some sort of like relevance. Like if it's just a random character for the point of random character, it might not feel earned. So if we can have this guy set up in the first half, then yes, maybe we can finagle that in there. And for this Jamaican man, if we were to do a Jamaican man with sled dogs, I'm thinking. Okay, maybe the Jamaican man. What if the Jamaican man like believes her, calms her down, says, "Stay with me. Everything's closed. Everybody's far away. I have protection because it's the Midwest, and I have a gun. You stay with me. We're all good to go. Let's save a kid." That could be a potential idea. Okay. She remembers the kid. She has to. Now, is she just out in the middle of nowhere and she just finds this guy? That is the next question. I'll put that on the back burner real quick. And let me just start typing away real quick. Okay, so she remembers. I appreciate that. He could be the cafe owner. Thank you, chat. Thank you, V. Okay. That could be a good possibility. Okay. Okay, so yeah, he's a cafe owner. Maybe he has the cafe's dog that dog sled themed, like a very rustic rock and wood interior, a nice cozy fireplace or something. I don't know, but I like the idea. So, and based off of his mention of dog sledding, she knew where to find him. Maybe he was at the lake, the frozen lake. I don't know. Who knows? We'll have to figure that out. But good ideas. Appreciate it. Then she remembers the kid. She has to save the kid. And let's hypothetically go with the cafe owner idea, and she finds him at the lake or something like that. I don't know. These are all hypotheticals right now. She remembers that the cafe owner trains his dogs at the frozen lake. She heads that let's say she finds him there and explains her situation. He sees she is distressed and suggests she stay with him. The two of them can head to the tree farm and hopefully find the kid. Okay. I don't know exactly where this tree farm is, but let's just say it's on the edge of town. How did it go from she finds the body or bodies, depending on the scenario, to she can't travel far enough to get to someone's house to call for help? These are things we're thinking. Also, if they're going to go back to, this farm, why didn't she go to the farm? I mean, maybe she was too scared to think about the kid. Maybe the snow was coming down. She couldn't see. She got lost. I don't know. We'll have to think about that. This might be a tomorrow problem to figure out. Okay. Well, I said I was gonna speed run this back end, and then I got into the weeds of it. So let's say let's just speed run. She locates the kid. He's been locked away in a secret dungeon. Okay, he's been locked in a secret dungeon. Oh, that would be messed up. Secret dungeon. They set the kid free, but the kid has been manipulated to like the hunk and backstabs Jamaican man, literally. Didn't see that one coming, but okay. The kid calls for help. This alerts the hunk, who is in another room finishing let's say a murder for now. Murder. Okay. Wow, that really took a turn. Now, lady is trying to survive from the hunk, and maybe the kid doesn't turn on. I don't know. But maybe the Jamaican guy dies. That would be unfortunate, right? Now the lady is trying to survive from the hunk and the kid. There is a cat and mouse chase. And the lady tries to get any sort of defensive weapon. She remembers that the sled has a gun, but it's exposed it's in the open. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so I say that's the end of Act 2B. Act 3, she gets the but is inexperienced and misses many of the shots. Many of the shots. Okay. Okay. Just to wrap it up real quick. A fight ensues. She gets the upper hand somehow. Upper hand somehow. We'll figure that out later. And she puts him down. My camera's about to die. So this will be the last time I change the battery. It will go to voice in a second, guys. And we'll just finish out the stream like that. A fight ensues. She gets the upper hand somehow. She puts him down. She waits for the sunrise and types up her story. She calls her editor and says she found the Christmas spirit. Okay, so that's the general idea. Maybe tomorrow I'll come back on. We'll write the first 3 pages. We might explain or adjust the last couple, the last half of the story, and then yeah. So that's the general idea, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, V, for being in the chat. Thank you, Mom, for watching, and thank you, Dan M, for hopping in for a quick minute. I love y'all. I will see ya tomorrow.